Fuck Ugly God. Hello everyone, Ryan here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the new Ugly God mixtape or collection of tracks titled The Booty Tape. Booty Booty Booty. Ugly God is a rapper that I don't actually know too much about. He's very young. He recently made it onto the XXL freshman list, which is typically a list that's compiled with rappers that seem to lose relevancy fairly quickly, and often, even at the peak of their relevancy, they're not that good either. It's become an infamous list in hip hop. I mean, every time this list gets announced, you'll see videos all over YouTube of people kind of like ripping apart the list and saying how terrible the list is and how all bad the rappers are on there. And, I think people that are in the know in hip hop know that these rappers are pretty trash. But every now and then there are a couple that make the list that are actually pretty decent. Anderson .Paak made the list last year. I mean, he put out my favourite album of last year too. Aminé made the list this year. I thought his debut album was pretty good. But typically it's filled with hype artists, and Ugly God is the perfect example of a hype artist. I mean, he's been making the internet go crazy over the past year or so. I mean, he's been dropping quite a lot of singles. You'd think he would have had a mixtape out way quicker than he has, but I don't know if there was some issues with it. I know that there were supposed to be way more features on this album, but I don't think that he managed to get them made onto this album, and I'm not entirely sure why. So now the only feature on this album is Wiz Khalifa, and I don't know why anyone wants to collaborate with Wiz Khalifa anymore. I mean, he's not exactly a talented rapper, so I'm not quite sure why Ugly God featured him on this album, to be honest. He does give a mention to 21 Savage and Lil Yachty on the final track, Water, which actually came out last year, so that's how long this single's been out in comparison to this actual mixtape. It's pretty funny too, because he kind of sounds like 21 Savage on this final track, especially with his flow. I think he's trying to take the piss in a way, trying to be like, oh yeah, I sound like 21 Savage, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But it's, I guess there's a bit of humour to Ugly God, which I kind of like. And we definitely get that humour again on Fuck Ugly God, where he basically rips himself apart. I mean, it's so funny, this song, the way he just kind of takes the piss out of himself. I always have respect for anyone that can do that, not just in music, I mean just in general. Anyone that can joke about themselves, I always really like. And I know a lot of people gave credit to Jay-Z for the Kill Jay-Z track on his album, which is a great song, but the way he kind of ripped himself apart on that track and his ego was really clever, but it's nothing in comparison to the way Ugly God does it on here. I like the line where he calls himself a one-hit wonder and then says his whole entire career is a joke. That's pretty funny. And I like the chorus as well. It's pretty anthemic, and it just makes you kind of want to get up and bounce. So this track, along with Stop Smoking Black and Miles, are easily the two best on this whole mixtape. I really like Stop Smoking Black and Miles. I love how he's kind of taking the piss out of this woman. I believe it's the woman how he's saying she needs to wash her ass and stuff. It's just these stupid lines that he comes out with every now and then that I find really funny. But also, as well, I do like the message to this song. He's saying oh, you're smoking cigarettes and cigars. Well, it's not even classy. It's actually really trashy. I like that because I feel the same about that too. It's also pretty cool to hear a 20-year-old rapper say stuff like this, because often a lot of this type of rap these days will reference smoking weed and all that shit, but which isn't bad. I don't have an issue with it, but it just adds a new perspective to this, I think. But now I need to get to the biggest issue on this mixtape. I was enjoying this quite a bit. Even the I'm a Nasty Hoe, which is a really mellowed out, slow kind of ballad. He does a bit of singing on this song, and that's actually goes over quite well. A lot of these tracks are good. He doesn't have a lot to say as a rapper. I mean, he's pretty basic in terms of his rhyme scheme and stuff like that. But the biggest issue is the thanks ugly God, thanks ugly God, thanks ugly God. It pretty much appears on literally every track, apart from I think Fuck Ugly God. I don't think it's on there, but pretty much every other song it just comes up every now and then, and it just takes over the track. And I know it's supposed to be some kind of watermark. I know DJ Khaled has "We the Best Music," and Metro Boomin has his watermark, and I'm guessing that this is another one of those. But it just takes over. It becomes so prominent on the track, and it doesn't last that long, but it just sticks in my head, and I hate it. I can't stand it. If you took that away, I'd probably call this a really good mixtape. I genuinely would. I do enjoy this quite a bit, but the fact that it appears on every song, and I'm enjoying the song up until that "Thanks, Ugly God," then I can't really say I ever want to return to these songs because I know that those parts are going to come up and it'll just piss me off. I know there are a few people already that agree with me on this. I've already spoke to some people about this, but I know his fans probably regard it as like his watermark, and they probably don't have an issue with it. But for me, I'm not really into it at all. It's unnecessary and it ruins the song. I think Ugly God. I think it does have some potential, you know. I think he's got something about him that I do quite kind of like. I'm sort of warming more towards this style of hip hop. I used to hate it, but as you know, the years have gone on, especially in 2017, I'm starting to like it more. And I'm pretty sure Ugly God will have another mixtape out pretty soon. I mean, this time he should probably keep his tracks closer together and not wait ages and not mess up the release of his mixtape. But other than that, this is an okay release. It's decent. I'm gonna say it's a C minus. It's okay. It's not bad. I'd recommend it. And if you did like this review, make sure you subscribe for more reviews and have a good day.